Have you ever walked in and walked out of a dental clinic happy, smiley, with a sense of making jokes and chatting and with really a sense of lightness?
My purpose is to heal and, of course, help the healing go better and better. And that's where my spirituality also comes in. Our patients should get the best that is there from our combined knowledge.
What did you do there? There were like 100, 150 doctors and dentists.
So that's how it started. And then I started a chant of Om.
According to the Buddha's teachings, there are 8 worldly conditions that affect the way the world spins, as well as the way we spin our reality. These are 4 pairs of opposites, basically: gain and loss, status and disgrace, censure and praise, pleasure and pain. These conditions are inconstant, impermanent, and subject to change. There also is something at the root of the Buddha's teachings. There are 3 poisons or 3 unwholesome roots to intentions. These are greed, ill will, and delusion. It is said that all these winds and roots staining the samsara in which we live. Now, it also happens that once we operate without any of them, or with less than those, because we might not be as perfect as the Buddha wishes us to be, or as the Buddha recommends, then we can sense that there is an altruistic state of mind. That's where I'm taking you with the following conversation. Here in Nepal, Kathmandu, there is a dentist who's on a mission of healing, not just in his private practice in Kathmandu, as well as for the country, its people, as well as within his area of influence, and he has a lot, dental surgeon and other technical professional association. This mission has deep roots in his upbringing, but it also is symptomatic of an expression of an energy that is somehow mainstream in Nepal. He'll explain that very well. From my perspective, we know that going to the dentist, as basic as it sounds, isn't fun. Probably it has a generational experience. Probably these days going to the dentist isn't as traumatic as it could have been decades ago. The word healing floats more in dental clinics than it used to float. And also bearing on and using the research on mind and body connection, the connection between the mouth and the brain, and the proximity of the mouth with the brain, we get to know, that there's a lot of influence of the microbiome of the mouth and what happens next, how it trickles down to the digestive system, and how it actually can move up to the brain. Having said that, it's not fun still to go to the dentist. It's really basically having an open surgery. The mouth is really a visible part of the what's going on inside the body. Personally, I've been traumatized by dental work since my childhood. It was always very, very, very painful, always very heavy-handed. And I've met him one day, 10 years ago almost, in Kathmandu. I've been referred to go to him because I had an emergency. As soon as I sat down on the chair, I knew I felt safe. And that sense of safety has developed into a sense of trust. Even now, not living in Nepal anymore, when I am around, and I make sure I'll come here and have my regular checkup, and even now have spent about 8 weeks doing serious dental implant. There's a sense of trust, and that trust is very important. When he says I'm on a healing mission, that's where the underlying expression is a sense of trust. It's a matter of building trust. It's something that the medical professional should instill. But there's beyond that, there's an important aspect, and that is listening. I never expected being seated in a dental practice and discuss what we're going to do with my mouth, basically. What are the options? And now obviously using also artificial intelligence and other techniques, it is possible to actually even just seeing my mouth on a screen and discuss. And that is very important. I'm not saying that this is not possible elsewhere. I'm saying this is a man who does this not only in his private practice in Kathmandu, but he has extended that to remote areas of Nepal through a team. It started with dentists, and then it developed around all the basic practices that are necessary to bring primary health care to remote areas of Nepal. They're on a mission, all of them on a mission, and he's at the center of that endeavor. I really wanted to have a conversation with him. His dental clinic is almost like a shrine room. And there's a lot of mindfulness going into his work. It's a delicate work to go. It's very invasive actually to go in somebody's mouth with tools, and it makes noise, and that's it. I really wanted to have a conversation with him because I think it's a bit like as a Buddha living in a dental clinic. So let's just cut the chase and listen to him. Welcome to Dhamma on the Sidewalk, insights, interviews, and practical tips on the teachings of the Buddha for people of all walks of life, attuning, exploring, integrating the teachings in everyday life. Simple Dhamma for daily life. I'm Asoka, hosting Dhamma Capsule for people like you.
Three times. Fill your lungs with positive energy. Take away all toxins out. Now with a deep breath. Yeah, so what happened was we always have this whenever we do a program, light a lamp. So light a lamp, we say we have to pass on the lamp of knowledge from one generation to the other. And we have a practice of the youngest in the crowd and the oldest in the crowd do light the lamp together. Not like some dignitary who's come, not post, nothing like that, but youngest and the oldest. And when they light a lamp, it's we're just trying to imbibe that, okay, knowledge transfer between the elder to the younger, and let's move further. That is one thing. Now, whenever we have a conference, whenever we come inside a room, we need to create that energy. We need to create that positive aura that will uh, make everybody in same plane, let's say, for example. Because a lot of people, a lot of us as human beings, we have a tendency to judge others, come with skepticism or, some unrealistic expectations and all that. When you bring everybody on the same ground, it becomes more equanimous, more collaborative rather than competitive.
So what did you do?
So that was the idea. And I first talked to them about, hey guys, this is a great conference. Thanks for being here. And let's have that collaboration going. And let's get the competition out. This is a room full of learned people. And we need to transfer knowledge from one another. Our main goal is our patient. Our patients should get the best that is there from our combined knowledge. So that's how it started. And then I started a chant of Om. And I told them to move it from the chakras as well. So that at the end, I think I was more buzzed than most of the people, but it was fantastic.
150 dentists, dentists. Right?
Yeah.
We're talking dentists chanting Om for about 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I still want to make a very good introduction of you, and please correct me if there's so much, and then there's also so much that you're doing that is related to dentistry and implantology that is known, but at the same time you're doing other things. So that's why I came to call you a humanitarian dentist. So just to summarize, there's a 25 years of private practice.
Yeah, almost 25. 25 will be next.
In Kathmandu.
24, yeah. We started in the year 2000.
So 24 years in Kathmandu.
In Kathmandu.
Then there's a background from Bengaluru Manipur Institute, and then the Royal College of Surgeons in the UK. You've been the General Secretary of Nepal Dental Association.
That was ages ago. And then I left politics.
The President of the Center for Continuing Dental Education and Research.
Yeah, we started that.
Coordinator for the Royal College, for the programs of the Royal College.
Yeah, we did that exam.
Founding member and president of many societies, Nepalese Implant Dentistry Society, and then there is this quote of yours that I really want you to start, which I found on LinkedIn. So you're introducing yourself as a seeker, a healer, a connector, a caregiver, someone who likes to celebrate, and I guess that comes from having a positive attitude in life, and on a mission to heal. And your mission statement, your aim is provide the best in dental care for the patients, help dental professionals in their career and better patient care, be a good human, not to harm anyone in any ways, give as much as possible without having any expectations, put a positive dent in the universe, and help the country and its people in any way you can, and then stand against wrongdoing. That, for me, summarizes a lot how I've known you for about now almost 10 years. I've been coming here and sometimes coming from abroad just to have service. But that's where I would like you to start, because I know that there is a lot of Dhamma in action in your way of practicing dentistry, in your way to have this humanitarian mission in remote areas of Nepal, and connecting dentists and doctors together. So what about I leave it on to you to say that? How does spirituality come into your professional life?
Well, I mean, to start with, I think I was born in a spiritual family. My grandfather was a very spiritual person. He was very accomplished human being. He started the Tribhuvan University. He was the vice chancellor. He was at the, in his capacity in education, he had done a lot. He also wrote the first Nepali novel, a social novel, 17 books to his credit. I mean, he did a lot in that short time. But then at the age of 60, he completely left and he became a spiritual, very completely spiritual. So in our home, like from childhood, I've been grown with bhajans, with the people coming in and him bringing all the babas from nowhere, and they're suddenly staying in our house. Somehow he was, and always that spirituality was in. And at the same time, that sense of service has been imbibed from the beginning, from my father, my mother as well. So I think that's where the whole spirituality came in. The more in depth came in around 2012, 13, I would say, when I went through a period when my sister was unwell, and I had to, find ways to cope myself in. And then that's where I went to Vipassana, to Sadhguru, to the Bihar School of Yoga, to everything. So just exploring things and finding few niches in every one of them. I think that was that thing. But before that also, I really loved going and helping people out. What gave me a big high when I did my dentistry was going to the villages and just trying to fix some problems of their mouth and getting their warmth, getting that feeling. That's what I guess. And then as any human being, you start looking for, oh my God, what's my purpose in my life and all that. And somehow I've just figured out that in that healing mode, I'm in that meditative state. So, for example, when I'm treating a patient's particular tooth, I'm completely lost in that, and I'm doing the best I can do that, bringing in all the energy and to fixing that problem. So,
and it also seems from my experience with your services, and is that you break a bit out of the mainstream in terms of the kind of messages that you can send on to how to heal, the power of healing the mind. I mean, the connection between mind and body,
yeah.
and not necessarily going straight forward for allopathic service or allopathic treatments, as well as maintaining a very high standards
absolutely.
in the clinic. And and having experience and seen your work, I can definitely witness that. But it's quite interesting how you also have connected, and it seems you have a bit of a influence on other dentists. Your message goes further than this room.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, I have been trying to basically build in science. Science is there. Of course, we have to follow certain basic principles, but there are a lot of this pharmaceutical industries and other interest lobbies and everything, which tweak a lot of things in healing. We've been knowing that, right? So we have to, of course, look for evidence-based dentistry and medicine practice of that. And on top of it also, I mean, we already know, I mean, there was a time when antibiotic use was such a rampant thing, and now we are, concerned about that. So those kind of things have always been in my mind. I just don't take things just because it's there. I have that critical appraisal skill, actually, which was brought to me by the Royal College of Surgeons, which the exam itself was a lot about appraising the anything you learn or anything that comes in the journal or anything with that critical appraisal thing, which has helped. At the same time, when you talked about helping others, absolutely, because I feel as a person, as a human being, I can do, how many patients can I do in a day? 8, 9 patients a day. But if I can bring in more of my colleagues in the same work mind of frame, to be less invasive, to try to save the nature as far as possible, and at the same time use technology, use new things that are there to solve the human problem of eating, enjoying life, making oral environment free of any disease, and that which actually keeps the entire body's health at and harmony.
And in that respect, can you speak a bit about the association of dentists that you have created, the clinic, the Egek Palya clinic, the humanitarian mission in action? In the sense, it's not just a charity to provide I would say, items, but you actually go physically yourself in the field to the remote areas of Nepal in difficult conditions. Can you speak about a bit about that?
And I mean, I've been very lucky in that regard because I get that opportunity to go to these places and help the real needy people who sometimes walk 4 or 5 days to come to that camp. So what happened with Ekik Paila was, it was 2015 when the earthquake happened, and one of my eye surgeon friend, he put out a post in the Facebook saying, hey guys, everybody's doing things in a different way. So I was involved with some other organization, he was involved with something. So we all scatter. So when he wrote that, a lot of us doctors got together and said, like, let's do something. And we created that Ekik Paila, and which started going into every, we always wanted to go to the depth where nobody's gone. So that, you know, where everybody is doing things, we didn't think it was right to, again, duplicate the whole thing. So we started that, and it was 1 year. We said, okay, 1 year now, earthquake is over. Let's just go our ways. Then we said, well, come on. I mean, we've created something so beautiful. Let's continue with it. And that's how it started again. And so we finished most of the mountainous mid-mountain and the hill area from the east of Nepal to west. Almost few places left, but 2 places left. The rest is all done. And going there and teaching them, my main mission is, if I go there and just treat a cavity or extract a tooth, that's just one-time service. But if I go there and teach them how to knot that cavity, then it's a, you know, and I may be able to change 5% of the population. But that way, I think it will grow. Because right now in Nepal, I see a major problem. There are no youngsters in the country. There are no youngsters. All of them are working outside the nation. Money is coming in. Earlier, there was no money. So they ate all natural food. They tilled their own land. They ate whatever was available, and they were healthy. Today's Nepal, all these guys have gone out. Money has come in, and money brings in, every house has a television, and every television ads are, oh, you want to be like that Kathmandu kid? You got to eat that. This is the vitamin 1. This is the... And that's what the mother, the poor, I mean, this is such a disservice to the people who already have nothing, and they're working hard to get that, and now they want to give the best to their kids. And that's what they're giving. The food has changed, the lifestyle has changed, everything. So we are seeing more of a non-communicable disease, more in the villages than in the cities. I mean, cities, of course, have its own problems. Cities have given a little aware now, but there's a problem. So that's what, when we go there and talk to them and be involved with them, it really feels, you know, if I can change few people's mind, then...
So you're more involved into behavioral change.
Absolutely.
To the core, to the root of the issue. First of all, what's the team? What kind of doctors do you have in the team?
Okay.
What
Usually we have around 35 members in the team, which will start from the eye to ENT, ear, nose, throat, dentist, and of course the cardiac chest physician, the gastric physician, general physician, general surgery, gynecology, orthopedics, pathology department, we take the pathology, radiology, we do the ultrasound and everything. We've started doing endoscopy as well.
All this for free, as a matter of fact.
Absolutely free. And we're very lucky that my friend, eye surgeon, he plays music, and we get donations from, you know, the concerts,
crowdfunding.
Yeah, as well as we have some organizations which fund this. Okay, you guys are doing a good job. Here you go.
I remember you saying when I first met you and spoke about this charity, we don't take financial support, we only take in kind, toothpaste, whatever is needed, gloves, whatever.
Yeah, that was, in the dental side, yeah, we've been trying to do that. In other sides, sometimes it's not possible because you have to buy those medicines. So sometimes we find medical vendors, which gives us for a very much discounted price. The logistic, like for example, Buddha Air, the airlines give us a very subsidized rate for our tickets. And we work with the local government. We don't want to go there and just try to be a hero for once. We want to go there. We work with the local government. We hand over the problems with the local hospital or a health post there. So there is somebody to look after even we are gone. Because most of these camps and all that, you go in and everything happens, and then they're gone, and like who's going to check out over the complications and all that? So those things, we always work with the government as well. Yeah, I mean, we've been very lucky. Now the banks and some corporate entities, they're giving few funds. Okay, guys, run the show. And that's, out of all that, now also we have a hospital here in Kathmandu, community.
That's new.
Clinic.
That's a 3 years
Yeah,
anniversary.
3 years, and which is basically for subsidized care. The rates are same as Beer Hospital, but the quality of care is so more access to people to come into this kind of places.
Outpatient.
Yeah, outpatient clinic, yeah. And if we find really poor people who really need to, we again find some ways to help them out, even in the camps. So we find some cases where we have to do some surgery or something, bring them to Kathmandu. So we'll come in here, again, post something in Facebook or something. People do help. Amazing. Like, hats off to all the people, they have the heart. It's amazing.
And that fulfills your humanitarian heart.
Useful.
Useful, with a purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some of your patients are monastics,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
A lot of monastics.
Yeah.
What is also striking in your personality traits is that, one, continuous education, and the second one is that you're really trying to apply those principles of Dhamma. Because coming back to the mission statement of Neil is these are precepts. These are basic core precepts of conducting an ethic and a life on good ethics, on compassionate ethics, on equanimous ethics as well. So I wanted you to give us a bit of an outline of Nepal as being a very diverse country at the confluence of a number of influences, like Guru Padmasambhava passed through here from his place of birth to Tibet, Hinduism, Buddhism in many of its forms, and many monastics from different countries around come and stay here. Ethnic diversity, which I think goes up to maybe 200, 100 something, many languages, many so-called clans, and at the same time everyone has this attraction to Kathmandu Valley, the only big city in Kathmandu. So, but I'd like to leave that to you to speak a bit about this enormous melting pot that is Nepal, with all these remote areas, different languages as well, right?
As I always wondered, such a difficult terrain, all the hills and everything. Those days there were no roads, nothing, right? But people from all, if you walk in the crowd in Kathmandu, same Nepali guy, you may see somebody looking completely Chinese, somebody looking completely African, somebody looking completely European, somebody, it's such a varied nation. And how come all these guys are attracted to this particular land? I always wonder. And even I question my forefathers. What made them walk all the way from... I did my gene mapping actually, and we did come from, of course, everybody came from Africa, and then some of my genes went up to Norway and places like that, and some of these genes came towards here, and here we are. But the beauty of Kathmandu, it's got some attraction. I quote one of the Rinpoches who was my patient for a very long time. He's my patient for a long time, and he said, very special power. This place I come because he lives in Canada most of the time, but I want to live here because Very special
Where is
power.
he from?
He's from here, but he lives 3 months in Canada and that's here. And also, I'm so lucky at times, I feel, because as a dentist, I get to see all these guys, all the Rinpoches, so many Rinpoches I've seen in the past. And one of the Rinpoches he was brought in from Sikkim. And he had just come out of his meditation, the long meditation where you just have a blade of grass and a tough one. And then this... he only spoke Tibetan, so there was a translator who was saying, so suddenly I'm just doing my dentistry, and in between he told something to the translator saying, tell this guy to go to Vipassana. So Vipassana, okay, yeah, because maybe he saw my little insecure attitude. But then I was like, okay, Rinpoche just told me I'll go one day, sure. Then after a month or so, one of my patients, a French patient, he is into Buddhism and he lives here. He actually runs a travel agency here. And out of the blue, he told me, and he's not met the Rinpoche at all. Hey Neil, want to go for Vipassana? I'm going to Vaignas with my wife. Would you like to do that? So, yeah, wow, how did that come about? And I did go, and oh my God, that was, one of the ways of actually finding out. There's so much to find out about oneself, and Vipassana was a very powerful one for me to actually help me cope with a lot of things in life. And now I'm still learning, but more grounded, more the Buddha was I call it he was an amazing
Did
scientist.
you say he was your colleague?
Scientist.
Your
he was a scientist.
Yeah.
Gautam Buddha was complete scientist. He talked science. What about you being that person, the karma Buddha, everybody's Buddha. That's such a beautiful and powerful thing to do, because with our actions, we can become a Buddha. We can do
and continue the life, get that in action in the life cycle as well, and influence and the interconnectedness of people. And that also brings me back again to the religious diversity in Nepal. And maybe you can enlighten us a bit about, this is also the place where the living goddess is living, Kumari, and also living in Kathmandu, or at least living in Nepal, but definitely living in Kathmandu, one could witness a number of different festivals. Absolutely. Because each, I don't know, it's not really a clan. I mean, I guess it's more, what do you call them, ethnic background, have their own religious festival. There's even a new year for the Gurung and a new year for others. So witnessing that in Kathmandu, that's religious diversity. Maybe you can give us a bit of an outline there.
There's so many cultures in we all have different cultures at the same time, but at the same time, there are cultures which we follow another culture. We never say, this is my culture, I'm not supposed to do that. Everybody's doing everybody's culture, respecting everybody's thing, and it's so beautiful, respecting everybody's space, respecting everybody's belief, which is a beauty in itself.
And we are talking here about certainly more than 20 different cultures.
Yeah.
And there's a very, very rich cultural interweaving into the way of life, interweaving into between cities and Pokhara and Kathmandu and other places and Lumbini and...
Yeah, I think that is one of the things that brought Nepal as, of course, it was multiple principalities, and that was brought as one nation by the king then. Of course, there are sometimes people go back to the history and all that when you're trying to unite a nation with so many different cultures, so many things. It's not easy. But, unity in diversity is absolutely our core strength, I see, of Nepal. And, of course, politicians try to diversify, break that and all that, but it did not work out. At the end, if you go out of anywhere on the street and just talk to another hey, what's up? And there's the conversation going on. So the country is so easygoing in that way. I mean, you go to a shop and oh, you become a friend just like instantly. So there are no hang-ups like most of the world we see, and it's becoming a thing. Oh my God, I'm wasting my time talking to this guy or doing this and that. Life has become so self-centered. But whereas in Nepal, still we have that niceness where people are, they have you could be up from any diverse culture, anything. But when you talk, you just have a conversation, talk about it. Maybe you agree, not agree, but it moves on. I mean, just at times they fight, of course, but mostly it's been amazing. I just find this nation so amazing that it's
We're very happy to be to have the descent of a Nepali, right? You be from here, but looking at the actually Himalayan map, and the fact that Nepal is super active in this map, while being, I would say, sandwiched, if I can say, between, I mean, two big
giants,
giants like China and India, at the same time having a long border with both, and then having those scattered, like there's Bhutan, there's Sikkim, there's Ladakh, there are all these. So in that sense, this is becoming very strategic. It's a very strategic place. So, and there's a dependence, economic dependence on foreign exchanges.
Yeah.
So what is your best bet for Nepal now? And
see, I mean, one of my friend actually quoted, and I would like to quote that. He talked about, you have two superpowers by the side. It's like 2 glasses of hot water by the side. And you will be heated anyway if you get a little bit out of your policies right. But if you don't get it right, then it'll become their playground. So big players always have these buffer nations where people want to play, So which is, I mean, what Nepal has always been doing actually. So that would be the right thing to do. But unfortunately, at times our politicians don't get it. The worrying part is most of these young men, even politicians' sons and daughters, are all living outside the nation, and these guys are just playing their politics. And that really worries me at one point. But at the same time,
there is a special energy in Nepal.
Yeah,
there is a special
absolutely.
energy which I think holds everything together.
Yeah.
And it might be just that the spiritual part of everyone here. I mean, there are so many shrines, sometimes in the middle of the road, and everyone goes around. It's not necessarily actually in the middle. It could be just slightly on the side.
Yeah.
It's not even cutting the road in two. So that has been maintained. Yeah. There are many shrines, there are many practices, there are many monasteries, there are many Hindus, there are many mosques as well. So there's maybe that's the energy that keeps this puzzle and this diversity together. Yeah. And you're definitely part of it. I think you're very active on
try to keep the, I mean, I just speak my mind once in a while, but well, I hope more people would speak their mind, more people who love this country speak their mind. And freedom of speech wise, Nepal, paramount. If you look at China, even India now, I mean, you can't even speak your mind anymore. But whereas in Nepal, thankfully, we do have freedom of speech, unless you are coaxing somebody particular, then there are laws. But, otherwise, it can't be a freer country than this. Yeah.
What's really the main challenge that you may have encountered when you go to the remote areas?
Main challenges basically is their access to road. So when they have no access to road, they have no access to a lot of things like, for example, places like Humla. Humla is a district in Nepal which is not connected from Nepal by road still. So everybody has to go fly. I mean, if they're sick, there's nothing majorly that you can do it there except fly them out to Nepalganj. So which is, so expensive, not people can afford. That's why, I mean, when they get sick, they just give up at times. So that's so sad. In 21st century, we not having to deal with this kind of issues. So hopefully the road will come soon. Another thing, of course, access is their the knowledge about the schools are there, but the quality of education needs to improve a lot, and it needs to be more helpful in their day-to-day life rather than just making them mug up some Nepali poem or English poem and just try to figure out what the poem was about. Rather than that, how to till the land and make it more productive, how to stay back in the country and build it. Those kind of things are lacking, which we really need to work on that. And now we do have young education ministers and all that just now, and we see hope, a lot of hope. If the people elect right people in power, I think within few, it won't take long. I'll give you an example. Kathmandu, one day, like years ago, okay, from New Year's Day, this date, Nepali New Year, no honking in town, no honking in the country. That was decided. Next day, honking stopped. Now, you go to India, go to other places, so much honking. There's no honking here. So things, if good things somebody brings about, and people are very compliant, and that's a very big strength also. And right thing they follow. Of course, there are some bad guys, but there are less of those, I would say.
There's also very strong resilience. There's because you are sitting on the Himalayan fold for earthquakes, so everyone has this way also of getting back on their feet.
Yeah, I mean, for example, just imagine. I mean, we have seen natural calamities happening in the much more developed world, and lootings and this and that. Here, when all that happened, not a single looting, people were helping each other. So that comes from somewhere. I think this is Buddha's land.
It's Buddha's land, it's Dhamma land. And,
something is there, and I hope we keep it for the longest time to come.
And the question about environment and pollution in Nepal, I'd like to mention that actually your clinic here in, I don't know about the second one, in Kathmandu, but the one where we are in Lazimpat area, you're fully operational on solar panel.
Yeah, that's right.
In there, so you basically can provide your services continuously, but as well as you kind of don't contribute to augmenting Kathmandu's pollution. Can you say you're very active on that? I know. So
see, what had happened was there was a period of time in our country where we were like 18 hours of load shedding, 18 hours of no electricity because there's some issue here and there, and then people were just generators everywhere, and they were buying fuels, and the country is absolutely polluted because every household would throw all the fumes, diesel fumes and all that. And at that time I also bought a generator and all that, but somehow this is not the right way to go. So put in some solar panels, and people were skeptical, people saying it will not run the whole place, and it started running everything.
How many rooms do you have in the
Four
clinic?
rooms with suctions and everything. Of course, my autoclave will need a mainstream that takes more power. But other than that, everything runs, the lights, everything run on solar. And what happened was India did a blockade for all the products, and petrol and everything was poof, nothing was coming in. A liter of petrol was something like 500-600 rupees. And I was functioning fine because I'd done this before. My sun god was sending me all the energy, and that is so beautiful. And that also helped me. I mean, when most of my colleagues had to shut down their practice because they couldn't afford that such an expensive fuel thing, and it was not available at all. So yeah, I think solar is one really great way to go. Nepal, we're blessed with water, no doubt. And we are now slowly getting surplus energy, so which is great. I was always talked about electric vehicles and just getting off fossil fuel, and I just don't talk, but I do it myself. So I don't use any fossil fuel. My car is electric, and it's been years now, 5-6 years, and So it's been ongoing. I feel each one of us do our part. That's there. But having said that, we living in between the giants, and this is a one world. I mean, even though we feel we are bounded by this country, borders and all that, which we created, human beings, which is not there in reality. Exactly. So actually, environment is such a thing that actually unites everyone together, because a neighbor's little fume will come to another neighbor in no time, with the wind factor, chill factor, whatever you call it. So it's a big game. The whole world has to be on one. And but human stupidity, like for example, a valley like Kathmandu Valley cannot have brick kilns running 24/7 fumes. You know, it's a vessel, right? And if you do that, just circulation doesn't happen. But thankfully, again, Kathmandu usually around 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, always get that whiff of air which takes in pollution. And if you look at the graph, mornings are very polluted, but it goes down. But another aspect also I would like to add here, a lot of world media, a lot of things say, oh, most polluted city in the world and all that. It's not always like that. It's those few days in the year we do have suffer this thing, but otherwise when it rains, it's amazing. It's so beautiful. The mountains are out. Of course, snow in the mountains have gone down a lot because of global warming, but it's
inevitable also for just geologically. I think plates are bumping into each other, which means that the Himalaya is going up, the peaks are going up, so there is melting of the glacier.
This is most, the energy that is coming from the ground, from everywhere. The any kind of even pressure things come, hit the mountain and all that. So it's special. And if I get another thing, if you look in the world map or a globe, you will see this is exactly a smile you see there. The whole region, and actually and Nepal is the central incisor, I call it, the central teeth. Poof, you see this whole smile. The Himalaya range looks like a smile.
And healthy smile definitely restores the smile. Has restored the smiles of many patients. And your clinic also has a different energy from other places. And I guess there's a lot of work that you put into, or your influence or your personality influencing the other dentists or just the staff, because there's a lot of staff. How many staffs you have here? 20?
I think in total around 24.
So it seems that there's a very welcoming, which is important for a dentist. Nobody likes to go to the dentist.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a medical service, but really dentists have really used to have at least a very bad reputation. Maybe with the new technologies and new ways of treatments, maybe there is new generations have more luck than some of the older generations. But still, the whole clinic has this very nice and playful energy. Really, the healthy smiles, definitely. Is there anything that you wish to say to just regarding your spiritual life, Dhamma, Nepal, the diversity, the unity,
We as human beings, we are one. Somehow we find our purpose or we find our vocation and do that. Let's do the best to our ability, first of all, whatever is there. Of course, some people have more inclination towards fame or money or family or other things. So I think it's all about finding a balance. I would not go with one thing or the other. Oh, we don't need money. Oh, we don't need that. We all need everything. But the thing is, we go into a mode where we are wanting more and more of one particular thing, and that's where it gets us into that spiral, and we get lost. We lose out on other things in life. So I would say greater good, family, at the end, whatever happens to you, your family is the first one to be worried about. Friends, of course, social connections are so important. A purpose is absolutely one of the most important thing. And I look at my dad. My dad is 89 now. He's got a purpose, like, okay, today we're gonna do this, 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 you know, and that's purpose which gets us going in our old days. Also, I feel so having that purpose of anything you start writing, telling people the right thing. If you want to make money, go work, make money, but ethically. Ethically, do not cheat. You know that, because that'll haunt you back, and you lose sleep over that. So, as a human, you always have, sometimes you make a mistake or something that doesn't go right, but mostly with a good vibe, with an intention to do right. Uh, I think we become a wholesome human, and that's what life is all about. I feel
beyond the self and beyond our own little
Absolutely.
microcosm, beyond the serving others.
Every day, just trying to be a better version of yourself. They say, no. We talk about, what do you want to be? You want to be happy. Okay, you're happy, fine. What about the more? I mean, you're living in a place like, and the next door somebody's so unhappy. The happiness has to be around you. It's not just in one particular, just in you. Of course, you can't change the world, but you try to change in some way or the other. It's just saying hello to that another person may make you happy. Just do that. Just say,
Yeah, and that happens a lot in Nepal. I mean, there's an interconnectedness between people who sometimes don't even know each other. They just help.
yeah, you make friends. You just out of the blue, just do things without any intention of getting anything back. So that's, I mean, I think most lovely.
Did your upbringing, a very strong spiritual upbringing, help you when there was a loss of your sister?
Yeah, absolutely. More than in a way it did, but Vipassana, going into all those things that fresh out, and understanding life as a whole, because we're just here as a traveler, and we're here for a while, and we go to better things. We do better place, a better entity. I mean, so I was actually happy that she went. So it was very okay. Now you were relieved of this suffering, and you're going into a better world altogether. So yeah, that did help me cope much better.
We don't know if there is no suffering for the person, but it's definitely more peaceful.
Yeah, I think whenever somebody gets sick and all that, we always, of course, would want them to live longer and longer and longer. But we have to always see the quality of their life. If the quality of their life is, sometimes it's
Exactly.
unfair as us as relatives, friends, to think, oh, we want him around, like for a while. So we have to be rational, I feel. I mean, of course, we don't. I mean, there's a lot of talk about euthanasia and other things, but that's beyond the topic. Let's not get into that. But I think as a human, our most important, most valuable currency is time. And that time is how we spend it really makes a difference in life, I think, and trying to help others, trying to think. And when problems like disease comes and all that, just being there, whatever way we can, just more than with all these. Sometimes you see these medications, these surgeries, these life support machines hanging around that individual, and just trying to keep that breath. It breaks your heart, Sometimes they come out of it, no doubt, and they live a longer life, many years. That's also there. We can't just give up science just like that. But it's become so commercial, no? The whole world, the medical science has become so commercial that every day of keeping one patient there keeps the bill running, which is, I don't know, that's...
and aging is part of life. From the moment we are born, we are aging already. It just doesn't...
We have to accept the fact.
We don't
It's
accept
just that
the fact.
the acceptance is so,
Life is just that moment between the moment you're born until you die, and that's basically a dream. It's not real. It seems to be real, but it's just a journey that continues and moves on. So some of us go early, and some of us stay longer, and that's
Yeah.
That's it. Well, Neil, thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity. Yeah. This
May
has been
you
great.
continue to be healthy
And you
happy.
inspired me to actually, whenever thoughts come in the mind, I was thinking, a lot of thoughts come and that we never record it. But sometimes recording it is a great idea. And you said you didn't find anything besides a little bit of dentistry here and there.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it, really.
Thank you so
it's
much.
one of my favorite topic, actually.
Thanks.